Hello, welcome to the Self Learning Platform by Dr. Sushma Singh. Today we start Unit 8 Backward Class Movements. Let us have introduction about the unit. Past 3 decades have seen the emergence of backward classes in different fields of life. This has been more spectacular in electoral politics, though backward classes became a significant social and political force in some parts of the country, especially South India. Even earlier, they got national attention following the introduction of Mandal Commission report by the VP Singh led government at the center in 1990s. This unit deals with different aspects related to the collective actions of the backward classes in India. Now let us discuss who are backward classes. Mayor Glanter, in his book Competing Equalities, Law and the Backward Classes in India, observes that backward classes is a very loose concept. Sociologically, these classes consist of a large number of backward castes which remain above the scheduled caste and below the upper caste. These castes consist of intermediate caste, the cultivating caste, artisan caste, and service caste. In the traditional social and economic structure, while the intermediary castes were involved in the production process in the land, the service caste and artisan provided services to the society. The backward classes known as other backward classes OBCs are other than those backward classes which include the Dalit or scheduled caste and the scheduled tribes. The principal intermediary OBCs are Yadav, Kurmis, Koris, Gujars, and Jats. In North Indian states like Uttar Pradesh, Bihar, Rajasthan, and some of them in Haryana and Madhya Pradesh, Kapus, Kamas, Reddis, Vokalgas, Lingayat, Mudiriyar in South Indian states like Andhra Pradesh, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu. Patels, Kolis, Kshatriyas, and Marathas in West Indian states like Gujarat and Maharashtra. They belong to the upper and dominant backward classes. The service caste and the artisans, principal caste among them being carpenters, blacksmiths, barbers, water carriers, etc., are found in almost all states in varying numbers. They are also known as the most backward caste (MBC) in some states. Their relations were regulated by Jajmani system. In this system, the service caste and artisans were known as clients of the dominant or superior caste. The latter included both the high caste and the intermediary cultivating caste. In this unit, the backward classes and other backward classes will be used interchangeably. The OBCs in fact include a heterogeneous caste group with differences in their social and economic conditions and political participation. Even the OBCs, which share common characteristics in terms of their place in the social hierarchy, differ from each other depending on their agrarian history. Not all intermediary castes which are now identified as OBCs belonged to the inferior group so far as their position in the agrarian structure was concerned. For example, Jats in most part of the UP, Punjab, which also consisted of the area of present day Haryana and Bharatpur region of Rajasthan were a dominant community even in the pre-independence period. They had their own traditional caste council or khaps headed by the hereditary chief or chaudhry to manage their judicial and social affairs. They were dependent, not peasant proprietors involved in the cultivation of land. They did not have the landlord above them, and they paid rent to the state through their own representatives. While they were independent of any landlord between them and the state, they were placed in the dominant position over other village communities. But most of other intermediary castes were not independent peasant proprietors. They were the tenants of landlords, who in several instances were the absentee. They were exploited by the latter in several ways. These intermediary castes were subjected to the exploitation of the landlords like the service and artisan caste. Thus, despite belonging to different castes, the intermediary caste, artisans, and service caste shared certain cultural and economic characteristics. That is why the OBCs are those castes which are educationally and socially backward, not necessarily economically and politically. To get categorized or recognized as an OBC is a political issue. A community should possess enough political clout to get itself identified as an OBC. There are several instances of demand by the caste to get themselves identified as OBCs. In 1999, the Rajasthan government and in 2000, the Uttar Pradesh government added the Jats to the list of OBCs. Now we are going to discuss socio-economic conditions of backward classes, impact of the state policies. The backward classes emerged as a powerful social, economic, and political bloc during the post-independence period in the countryside as a result of the policies of the state. But there have remained internal differentiation among them. While the intermediary caste came to control the affairs of the village society, the artisans and the service caste joined the ranks of the marginalized groups of the wage laborers, marginal and poor farmers. Even though the upper backward or the intermediary caste also are undergoing differentiation in terms of the economic and educational entitlements. In political terms, these differences get blurred. It will be imperative to discuss the impact of the state policies on the rise of the backward classes in the country. The principal policies which impacted them included the land reforms, which consisted of the abolition of landlordism, putting ceilings on the size of the land holdings, consolidation of the land holdings, and green revolution in the selected area of country, welfare schemes for the welfare of the lower backward classes. Besides, the state policies, the changes which occurred from within the society, population growth, breaking down of the Jajmani system also affected them. Although the state policies in different states of the country did not have the uniform and desired impact on the backward classes in the country, they definitely gave rise to the backward classes. They became the owner of their land which they had been cultivation before the land reforms as the tenants captured the local level political institutions like village panchayats in several parts of the country. On account of their numerical strength, along with the control on village land, they came to control the village vote bank. All the upper backward classes are relevant examples of these change. Jats, Yadvas, Kurmis, Gujars, Kapus, Kamas, Radis, Lingayats, Volkligas, Patels, Kolis, Marathas, etc. in different regions of the country. It must be emphasized that among the state politics it was Green Revolution which had the most remarkable impact on the rural economic, social and political life. Most of the groups affected by this belong to the upper backward classes. It not only disturbed the traditional pattern of relations, it also gave rise to the emergence of capitalism in agriculture. It was marked by the mechanization, displacement of human labor in agriculture, and development of market economy and commercialization of agriculture. Even the capitalism had the differential impact on the backward classes, while the upper backward produced mainly for the market and remained largely the self cultivators. Those belonging to the lower backward joined the ranks of the wage laborers in the agriculture or the non agrarian sectors or even migrated to the cities. The fact that the OBCs belong to distinct economic categories and to the middle caste and the artisans and the service caste have given rise to the issues which are both economic and caste related. As you study in subsection 8.42 and 8.43, these have been the focus of the mobilization of backward classes throughout the post independence period, both at the national and state levels. However, the nature of these issues have changed over a period of time. For example, the social issues were combined with those of abolitions of landlordism and demand for providing ownership right to them in land before the implementation of the first phase of land reforms. These were replaced by the issue which emerged mainly after the Green Revolution: remunerative price of the crops, subsidized input, better infrastructure, along with the issue of reservation in the political institutions and public jobs for the backward classes. Another factor which is related to the changes in the socio-economic conditions of the backward classes is rise of a middle class among the OBCs. Despite the failure of the educational policies, a group of educated persons who became their spokespersons had emerged among the backward classes. However, this group was not as big as it was among the high caste. In North India, Charan Singh, S.D. Singh, Chaurasia, and Chaudhry Brahm Prakash were some of the spokespersons of the backward classes belonging to the early decades following independence. Now we want to wind up this lecture and thank you so much for your attention.